him. I feel like you don't need an introduction anymore. This is Alice. We've been friends for, Jesus Christ, 5, 6 years? We met in secondary school and we're both equally self-hating and depressed, so we bonded very quickly.
But also needed all the attention.
Oh, so much attention, and nothing's changed. The fun thing about Alice is me and her are very similar in the brain department. Everything where I'm like, haha, I do this weird thing, Alice is like, nah, mate.
Nah, mate. Me too.
Me too. And I've got a lot of questions recently, well not even recently, just in general, about people who aren't mentally ill or don't suffer with depression or anxiety or things like that, but who have friends or partners who do and don't know how to deal with it because it's a difficult thing to support someone with. So I thought we could be like, here's what you should do,
or maybe
don't do. Do you want? This is the thing. I love doing English literature as a degree. I don't know how open you want to be about
my brain.
About your brain. I know that in general you're quite an open person anyway. Yeah. But the internet is a very different place.
I am very
cool. I thought we could start with like what not to do. Experiences that you've had where someone's reacted to something in just the worst way possible.
To be fair, most of my friends were really helpful. It was my family that where I was just like, jinkies! Yeah, so when I was, I don't know how old I was or even when it started, it's been such a like journey. I used to scratch the back of my hand a fair bit, to the point it was like really scabby and stuff. I remember we went out for coffee with like my gran and my mum, and my granny like genuinely like grabbed my hand and was like, "What's this? Why have you done this to yourself?"
Worst nightmare.
And I would like in public. It's hard to explain. She would just like make me feel bad about being ill, and she would compare her mental health to my mental health.
Yeah. It's not a competition of who's the most sad.
Which I think you struggled with a lot.
Oh my god, I mean, mental illness runs in our family anyway, so it was pretty inevitable. But I was definitely, and I spoke about it in my self-harm video a little bit, I was in a group of friends where it was like...
And I was in that group of friends too.
Yeah, it was like, who can be the saddest? Whose life is the worst?
And it's weird because it wasn't like, we didn't like establish like a group being like, no, we're trying to be sad. It just happened.
It was just, you know, teenagers are angsty and you want to be the most angsty. You want to be the one who has the most things to deal with, when really all of us were from...
All pretty much middle class, white, female.
Pretty privileged. None of us have disabilities or anything like that, and it was just, you know, it was the thing of we're 14 and we don't really understand how anything works yet. But it definitely created a sense of, it was almost something to be proud of. And then when I spoke to my parents, they were like, what the fuck? No, this is bad. What are you doing? I used to say, oh, you know, they handled it really badly and they really freaked out on me and really made me feel really guilty. But it was kind of necessary because I didn't realise how serious it was. I was kind of just like treating it like this funny joke when actually for them it was really upsetting because obviously it's their kid, and it was the ultimate romanticization of it and making it into something that was really cool. It's difficult to balance being kind and understanding and tough love when someone that you love is struggling, because I know that I needed my parents to be like, what the fuck are you doing, for me to kind of snap out of it and understand what was actually going on.
Because as much as in the friendship we tried to support each other by saying like, it's okay, like it's gonna be okay, that also almost like validated it.
Yeah, it was like, oh well, nothing's really wrong because no one's telling me to stop. I know that I really appreciate the friends in my life who will call me out on my bullshit.
You like stopped taking your meds and I was just like, honey!
Yeah, just like, what? I think it's really important to not feel like you're alone when you are mentally ill, because you're mentally ill. The way you see the world is wrong. The way
distorted.
And but it feels so true. And often a side effect of that is thinking that you don't have anyone around you. So to kind of prove yourself wrong by being able to talk to someone, just listening is really underrated. Like, I fucking love conversations where I just vent at someone and they go, that sucks. I don't always need advice or like support, I sometimes just need someone to just listen to my crazy nonsense.
You just need to get it out.
Exactly. That person might also already know what helps them
yeah.
and what they need, and they just need you to reinforce it. I know that having a tidy room makes me feel so much better about everything.
Yeah, I sleep better.
Yeah, I just do everything better. When I'm going through a really low dip, it's the first thing that I lose control of is my space.
What surrounds you is a reflection of what is, like, your brain is doing.
Sometimes I don't even realise how messy my room has become until someone else walks in and is like, dude, this is bad.
When I'm really depressed, I will either reach out or be like, look, I just need some space to be sad for a little bit, and then I move on.
You don't want to force yourself into their life, because it could be that they do just need a breather, and that you won't always understand why they need that, and they probably don't either. Like, sometimes you just wake up and you're like, I don't want to talk to fucking anyone today. And I know that it can be confusing to someone who isn't depressed.
Yeah.
Why depressed people do the things they do. Like, why can't you get up and have a shower?
Smelling like BO and regret is and sadness is always my mood. It's
also okay to tell your friend or whoever that you don't understand.
If they're being really sketchy, just be like,
please explain.
Please explain. There's something going on that you want to talk to me about. And also saying to them that it's okay if they don't want to talk about it. Sometimes you don't want to. Because when it consumes your life, going to talk about it with someone can be a whole thing.
It feels like you open a box and there's like another box inside, and then there's another box inside, and you just have to keep going. Every single depressed person wants to be not depressed. There is no one who's like, this is great and I love it.
Obviously, as well, as a depressed person, you sometimes have thoughts where you're like, being depressed is easy, because recovery's hard as well.
Recovery's really hard. You actually have to do stuff.
And it takes work.
I would just much rather lie in bed and do nothing. And that's the other thing, that's when like you come in, because you need to go and shake that person and be like,
have you eaten?
Have you taken your medication?
Have you drunk water?
Do you want me to come around and yell at you for a bit? I think ultimately it's about listening to that person and being really patient, which can be really hard, especially when you know that they can be better and you know that they can be happier. It's really difficult to see them what looks like give up.
Self-destruction.
Yes, but they're not doing it on purpose. The best thing that you can do is to just listen and try and understand and give them whatever it is that they need, whether it's space or whether it's to come study together or whether, you know, they need to just vent at you for a bit.
Because I had a friend, we'll call her Debbie. We were at college together, and then all of a sudden, for about 6 months, we didn't see her, we didn't speak to her, she just stopped going to college, and when she was at college she would text us, she wouldn't see us, we didn't see her for like 6 months, and we were all really worried, and we were like calling her mum and asking what's wrong, and she just said she really needed space to be on her own and sort shit out. And then 6 months later she popped her head up and she was like, thank you for giving me that space, for sorting myself out. She was like, I know it was scary and it really probably wasn't that fair on you. She really needed it and it really helped. So making sure that they're safe and okay, but respecting it as well.
The most frustrating thing as a mentally ill person is telling someone what you need and having them go, no, I don't believe you, or no, I think this will work better. Like, the process of me getting onto medication was one of the most difficult in my entire life, because it was just people constantly telling me that they didn't believe me and that they didn't think that I was ill enough to go on meds when I knew that it's what I needed. If someone had just been like, yeah, okay, I'm listening and I'm understanding and we'll try that, it would have been just like so much easier. Which is a whole nother video about mental health services in the UK and whatever.
Yo, shout out to CAMS.
Hey! Thanks for putting up with my annoying ass 16-year-old self.
And every other 16-year-old in the country.
I think we've covered a lot of good bases there.
We've spoken a lot.
We have spoken a lot. I know, it's very exciting.
It feels like we've spoken about everything and nothing.
Yeah. I know, right? Like, we've made this much progress and also this much progress. As you guys know, I'm a massive advocate of talking as openly as you can about mental health. You're not by yourself. If you're mentally ill, you're not by yourself, and if you're struggling to support someone who's mentally ill, you're also not by yourself. Because it is difficult when someone that you love is struggling and you don't know what to do.
The internet is such a chalice of information.
Drink from the fountain of knowledge. Sick. See you guys next time. Perfect.